rise and let's just recognize a moment of silence. Thank you. I'd like to ask Alderman Tara Rios to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and then the Texas flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one and indivisible. Thank you, Alderwoman. Public comments. We have Jason Moody.
Good evening, Judge Cascos and Commissioners. My name is Jason Moody. I'm the Public Information Coordinator with the town of South Padre Island. I'm here today to invite you to our second annual Ecotourism Summit, Embracing Our Environment, which begins at 1 o'clock and runs through to about 4 o'clock. We will be discussing South Padre Island's ecology, coastal erosion, and other valuable resources, and wanted to extend that invitation to you.
What's the date?
Thursday, April the 19th. I also would like to extend an invitation to our Board of Aldermen workshop hosting General Land Office Commissioner Jerry Patterson. He will be presenting and speaking in reference in regards to the oil and gas seismic surveying that's being conducted currently in the Laguna Madre.
Thank you. Any questions, comments?
I was going to ask, repeat the time again.
Yes, the Ecotourism Summit is 1 to 4, Thursday, April the 19th, and that same day at 4:30, we will host Jerry Patterson.
Thank you.
Any other public comments? I'd like to make a public comment. And this is in regards to the daughter of one of our employees who is missing. And this is somewhat a little unorthodox, but our employee's name works for the health department. His name is Mr. Joe Salazar. His daughter, by the name of Samantha Salazar, has been missing since March the 29th, 2007. It has received basically no publicity because I think the parents have decided to try to find her without going to the media. But I think it's time now, and I think he will agree that it's time to get the media involved. Samantha is brown hair, 5'4", weighs 115 pounds. Last time she was seen was at 713 Woodford in San Diego, Texas. She has a tattoo of a heart on her right thigh area. She was last seen wearing a black sweater, blue jeans with black tennis shoes. She might be in the company of her 21-year-old boyfriend by the name of Randy Lopez, date of birth 9/22/1985. They might be driving a 1989 brown Chevy van. If you have any information, obviously you can call any office in Cameron County. They can direct you to Mr. Salazar or the San Bernardino Police Department. If by any chance Samantha is watching this meeting, just call home and just let them know that you're all right. Don't have to come home if you don't want to, but at least call them and put your family's minds to rest. But either way, if anyone sees her or knows of her location or her whereabouts, please contact the family or the San Bernardino Police Department. Mr. Salazar is in the audience. Mr. Salazar, would you like to say something to the TV folks and people in the audience?
Good evening, Judge, Commissioners. I just want to thank everybody that's been helping me out, and the only thing that I ask is for your support and your prayers. That's about it, Judge.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe.
Godspeed.
God bless you.
Presentation resolution items. Item number 2.
Judge, if
Yes,
I
ma'am.
may say something under public comment, I didn't sign up. I do want to thank, we had an incident last week where someone tried to, they burglarized and tried to steal one of our tractors that was in an area in our precinct. I want to thank the community of Bluetown, the community of Santa Maria. They immediately called the constable, they called our foreman, and the people were caught. And I want to thank them for the cooperation. I know that all the foremen in Public Works make sure that they have eyes and ears out there when we leave equipment out in the areas, and they leave the equipment out in the areas in case someone says, well, why don't they lock them up at the warehouse? That's a lot of going back and forth. Our precinct is extremely big, and the foreman has this management system where he has equipment all over the precinct, but he makes sure that he has eyes and ears that help us. So I want to publicly thank all the people involved. I couldn't begin to name all of them, but they reacted very quickly. The people were caught. They were from Elsa, Texas, and it was 2 men and a young lady. That young lady had no business being there, and the men didn't either, but I hope the parents got after her. But anyway, we thank the communities. I know that all the communities support us and cooperate with us, and I want to thank them because they would not have been caught if it hadn't been for the cooperation from those communities.
Thank you, Commissioner. Presentation and/or resolution items. Item 2, consideration and approval of a resolution supporting House Bill 1 Amendment Number 248, eliminating the appropriation rider of $7.3 million to special interest park projects. Pete?
Judge and Commissioners, I'm going to ask that this item be tabled.
Do I hear a motion to table?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Tamayo, second by Commissioner Wood. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Item 3, consideration and approval of reimbursement resolution for the Veterans Bridge at Los Tomates Expansion Project.
Judge, as you all know, we're working on an expansion project for the Veterans Bridge. 80% of the funding for the construction will come from the Texas Department of Transportation. City of Brownsville and Cameron County will split the 20% that's required to match. So, speaking to our county auditor, we do not know how we're going to finance our 10%, but in case we issue bonds, this resolution will allow us to recapture some of the expenditures that will incur for the engineering and design and construction of the project. So my recommendation is for approval.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Wood, second by Commissioner Benavides. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Item 4, discussion and possible action regarding a resolution expressing concern and objection to oil and gas exploration in the Laguna Madre area. I think Alderwoman Tara Rios is here to address us.
Good afternoon. My name is Alderwoman Tara Rios Ibarra, and today I'm representing the town of South Padre Island Board of Aldermen. About 2-3 weeks ago, the town passed Resolution 864, and in that resolution, we expressed our deep concern with the gas and oil exploration project, which was started without any public hearings. That's the first aspect. The second is we would like to express not only to the county but to the state our extreme frustration in the process. We would also like to let the county know that the town is opposed to any gas and oil drilling or exploration, which will have a detrimental effect to the inhabitants, to the businesses in the Laguna Madre, and to the citizens, as well as our visitors that come to South Padre Island. So, again, the town is opposed, and we're hoping that the county will stand with us in protecting the Laguna Madre, both the environment, its inhabitants, and businesses.
Thank you. Any comments?
I'd like to thank Alderwoman Tara Rios for having called me about 3 weeks ago or 4, and having told me about this. I had no idea what was going on, but she approached me and we talked about it, and the judge and I also talked about it, and I'm glad that we'll be able to support you in your efforts to try and stop whatever it is. I know we're limited, but I think we as a court are very concerned that anything that affects the Laguna Madre is going to affect Cameron County, just as well as South Padre Island and Port Isabel. Thank you.
And I think, and I appreciate the fact that you came to Harlingen to talk to me, and we talked about that, and I think I gave you the information that I had, and I also, Billy was on the phone with the other alderman. And I think you know the limitations that we have, but we also can definitely support your efforts, and I understand your concern.
Move to approve. Commissioner Wood, any comments?
Oh, I think we need to be supporting this.
Okay. I hear a motion. I guess we will draft a similar resolution. Yours is excellent. But we'll do something that's comparable. So I hear a motion by Commissioner Garza to approve, second by Commissioner Benavides. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Thank you, Alderwoman. Consent items, are there any items that any member of the court wishes to take out of order and discuss in open session? Anything in travel? Hearing none and sensing none. Do I hear a motion on the consent items at 5 through 10 and travel items 11A through 11J?
Move to approve.
Moved by Commissioner Wood, second by Commissioner Tamayo. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. We're going to take a little things out of order because Pete needs to hustle out of town, so we're going to go to the discussion items, and we will address executive session right after this. Item 14, budget amendments, line item transfers, and/or salary schedules. Item 14, is there anything?
Yeah, there aren't any additional,
Well, there are some budget amendments, I mean,
what's in your packet, yeah, but
Okay.
we don't have any additional.
My packet was empty. I didn't have any either. On that particular item.
Number 14, mine was too. They skipped it.
well, we have some here. Are those them?
I didn't have anything. Anything?
They were placed on our places. Yeah.
No, it looks pretty much ordinary.
Yeah.
Yeah, the budget amendments are from the county clerk, the county treasurer, the tax office, indigent care, and the precinct 2 constable.
Too.
Yes.
It appeared all the budget amendments were in the department. So if y'all feel comfortable, you want to make a motion?
I'll move to approve.
Moved by Commissioner Gatsa, second by Commissioner Wood. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Approval of county claims.
2 additions.
There's a list of additional claims on your desk. The last one is for $1,410, I believe. It's payable to the city of Brownsville. Check number, I want to make sure. Check number 178900. And this is for the construction permit payable to the city for the security wall. There's one other issue. One of my accounts payable clerks kicked back to me a claim of $15,000 payable to Golden Eagle, Walt Messier and Associates. Essentially, what she conveyed to me, the problem was, this is a bill that had been paid by the Sheriff's Department over a period of time, and it was sent to the Sheriff's Office for approval. Sheriff's Office kicked it back and requested that the Computer Department approve this bill. Computer Department kicked it back and requested that the Sheriff's Department approve the bill. And so what I'm asking from the Commissioner's Court is, this is the jail management system which the courts, a number of other agencies, and the sheriffs and the jail rely on. I'm requesting y'all allow me to approve it and to pay it. It's $15,000 for the annual maintenance.
What's the check number?
Yeah.
Well, I have not drafted a check. I will come back to the court next week with a check. I'm not going to issue a check until next week, but...
So do you want the approval now?
What I'm after is authority to pay this claim and bring it back. Because I don't sign off on anybody else's budget.
Whose budget is this going to come from?
It's traditionally paid out of the sheriff's budget. I'm going to request to the budget officer that since this is a program that's commonly used by a number of agencies, to put it in a general administration type of department, so that it doesn't have to come out of one person's program resources.
When did this happen?
Traditionally,
Yeah, I mean,
that's been paid yearly.
Yes, it is traditionally, and we usually get
And who has paid this bill? What
It's-
budget?
traditionally paid out of the sheriff's department.
so what's the issue now?
The issue is I need someone to sign off on it,
Oh, he's not signing.
and the auditor is,
Well, but do you
I
need...
can sign off on it. I wanted to let you know I'm going to
Yeah,
begin
you
the
don't want to
process.
get in trouble for signing off on stuff.
Yeah, that's right, I want you out there to understand.
I don't have any problem signing it if you want, or you signing it, or whatever.
Okay.
But I think the issue is, why are you going to be distributing it out to all these folks if it traditionally comes out of the sheriff's budget? Why not there again?
You're right. I think then that's the direction we're going to go.
It's a jail management system.
Because initially, it was just used by the sheriff's office.
And so who's using it now?
A number of governmental agencies, the courts, the sheriff. My office is using it for payment of jail, hospital, and medical care. So we use
Well,
it,
has it always been like that in the past?
yes.
Okay, so then, So
For
there's
about
nothing
5 or
new.
6 years, a number of agencies have used it, not just the sheriff's office.
okay, so there's nothing new now. I mean, these agents have always used them, the sheriff's office always paid for it.
Right.
And why doesn't the sheriff's office want to sign off on this one?
I don't know. It was just handed to me prior to walking in. I want to make sure that we're current so that the system doesn't go down.
Okay.
There's a lot of reliance on it.
Okay, do I hear a motion to authorize Mark to sign off on the bill and charge it to the sheriff's office as has been done in the past?
Right.
So moved.
And approval of claims?
And approval of all
And
claims, I
approval.
guess. And please note my abstention on the one I just gave you, Amy. Do I hear a motion by Commissioner Tamayo? Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gatsa. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any
Thank you.
opposed? Item carries.
Mark,
Mark?
we had been working on these. We've got like 54, 55 pages of paper here. For a while, we were doubling them up, turning them sideways, I guess,
Yeah.
and saving paper. Are we going to start that again, as opposed to wasting? I mean, there's 5 of us, that's a ream of paper, or half a ream of paper. And I don't know how,
We'll
this whole thing.
do that. Usually it's done that way.
Usually it is, and just,
I get a full-length version because my eyesight's not so good.
is that it?
But I guess it's just an oversight. I have a few employees who are still on Easter vacation, and perhaps the new person didn't do it the normal way. But we'll see what we can
I
do.
mentioned,
I appreciate it.
save paper.
Email.
Any other comments? Thank you. Item 16, discussion and possible action on a temporary contract negotiations regarding the performance of autopsies for Cameron County.
Good evening. I just wanted to make a brief report. I did have receive a phone call today from Dr. Salinas. He's the person that was doing the autopsies for Hidalgo County. He stated that today he was going to fax us over a proposal. At 4 o'clock when I left my office, I still hadn't received it, so I would assume that by the next Commissioners Court meeting, we'll have those proposals.
Okay. Do I have a motion to acknowledge Mr. Gonzalez? Oh, I'm sorry, Pete.
So moved.
Additionally, our legal department is drafting 2 agreements with Valley Baptist, and those will be on the agenda for next week.
Okay.
And I
Commissioner
think
Nessa.
that there was an email sent to us from Nina's office in regards to the Webb County coroner interested
Also
also.
offered.
So there's more interest than we thought there might be. And, we have a few more players that we can deal with in trying to resolve the issue.
Very good. So that was a motion by Commissioner Tamayo to acknowledge Mr. Gonzalez's report. And Mr. Sepulveda, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gatsa. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Item 17, consideration authorization for the Cameron County District Clerk's Office to contract with GovPay for credit card processing services.
Good afternoon. We have decided that we needed an extra contract because the program that we have right now has been giving us some problems. We're still going to keep it, but we're going to add the American Express, in addition to the Visa and MasterCard, Discover, and debit cards. We are going to be able to allow the people that will be paying court costs in criminal and civil through the internet, and recurring billing. We're going into contracts with people that are paying court costs in criminal cases, and then we need to work out a payment plan. And this new program will allow us to include the payment plans.
I've got a question. Many folks have online banking, and one of the concerns that has been brought to my attention is that when they do business with the county, to do online banking, and that's,
Yes.
To not send a check, but electronically do it, they get a pretty sizable charge.
I knew you were going to ask that, so I prepared with a report.
Okay, but, and what didn't make sense to them, and I need to finish my statement, what didn't make sense to them is, it doesn't make any sense that I can send a check and spend 39 cents on a stamp to do regular banking privileges. My bank doesn't charge me any fees, and online banking, anywhere else you pay a bill, there's no fee associated with it. Why does the county use the service, the charges? He says, I can see it for our credit card processing, and most people expect that. But when you do online banking, there's usually no charge associated with paying through that type of process.
We checked on that, and as a matter of fact, we're going to lower the cost 5%. That we're now going to be charging 2.45% as compared to 3%. There's other offices that are using credit cards, and they're charging from $24.99 to $2, and any amount after certain amount, it goes up to $29.95. Ours will only be 2.45, but all the companies are charging us. We're able to find one.
And that's understandable, and I know that credit cards do that, but online banking, when they pay you with a check online, they utilize the same charge schedule as credit cards, whereas most places that you do business with do not.
Yes.
If somebody mails you a check and puts a stamp on the envelope, it's 39 cents. And if it's $1,000 check, it's going to be $24.50 added onto that, right?
Right.
Instead of to get your money instantly, and it doesn't make any.
In another department, not with us.
In another department.
Ours
Right.
is going to be at a lower rate.
It's still the same concept.
And I understand. I talked to Eric Garza, my criminal supervisor, and in charge of monitoring all the companies and evaluating them and making a recommendation. And I said, the first question I'm going to get is from Commissioner David Garza, but he's concerned with the consumer paying so much money over internet. And we could not come up with a company that would give us a no fee.
So you really did your research?
Yes.
My question was, do you want to do this now? What does it do when if we change bank depositories? Does it have any effect with that? Or you have to change all that as well?
Well, I don't know, Eric, with
you have to.
There will be no change. It's a third party, so what will happen is that we do change banks. We just notify GovPay and tell them, hey, this is a new bank, switch them over, make sure the proper signatures are taken, and then we just go ahead and notify them.
All right. Any further discussion?
Judge
Judge
Cascos and Commissioners, I just need to let you know, on the agreement that I reviewed, I had some questions and some concerns with the terms and conditions. I sent them back to Eric, and Eric sent them back to the company. We got an email back responding that they will not make any changes to the agreement. So I need to let you know that there are some terms in here that I probably would not keep in this agreement, but if the court wants to, or allow the district court.
Which ones specifically are they, W?
Well, there's if you have your packet, you can look at page 8, at the very end, and it's 3.05. It's disputes with cardholder, indemnification of service provider.
Hold on, page 8?
It's at the very end.
It's like two before the end.
Oh, the little, okay.
They would have us indemnify and hold them harmless, which the county never does. Another paragraph would be 3.06, terms and termination and match. The agreement would be for 3 years and then automatically renew, which the county doesn't do. And we could not terminate this agreement by giving 30 days written notice.
Well, what about on page 2?
And then,
on page 2, 3.01.2, it addresses the 30-day written notice requirement.
are you on the...
I'm on this one.
Right, but they also attach this as also part of it. This is my concern.
Well, so which one overrides? Well, look, I will tell you that unless legal is willing to sign off on it, because I think what she's doing obviously is looking out for the county. So unless they're willing to change the terms and conditions where legal is comfortable, where they can recommend it, but she's telling us, as our lawyer, that she's not recommending this contract. So I, as one, am not going to say, okay, I'm going to approve it, because even though she says it's not a good idea, I, as one, am not willing to sign off on it. So if they're willing to change the terms and conditions for our legal department is comfortable with it, for our, y'all's protection as well, and our protection, then we don't do the deal.
No, and I think when we sent this contract out to the merchant, we notified about her concerns. I think their response was that their standard contracts or something like that.
I can read you the email.
Well, standard contracts will get people in trouble all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Give me a chance to just actually call them. At the very end, she does say we can discuss your concerns and hopefully find a resolution, but she does say there will be no acceptable changes made to the agreement, so...
Do I hear a motion to table this for 1 week or until legal gets their answers, their questions answered?
Second.
That was moved by Commissioner Tamayo, second by Commissioner Benavides. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
So, Delbia, you have signed off under review, not approving, right? I mean, it's not something you changed your mind, okay. Because I have seen the signature there.
And thank you for that, Delbia. Appreciate it. Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Item carries. Item 18, consideration approval of reconstruction of parking lot at the Levi's building.
Judge and Commissioners, so you all heard at the meeting last week, the building at, the Levi's building at San Benito is pretty much completed. We do have a need to reconstruct the parking lot. We included in your packet a cost estimate where the county would go in with county forces and reconstruct the parking lot. Our cost estimate for materials is just a little bit over $75,000. Time frame that we estimate is probably 45 to 60 days, and we would need to utilize bond proceeds to complete this project. And this would allow us to have a reconstructed parking lot that will probably would have a life of at least 7-10 years, if not more. So staff's recommendation is to get approval for the parking lot and utilize the bond proceeds for this project.
And utilize what, I'm sorry?
The bond proceeds.
Pete, as you know, last week I think we talked about agenda items being filled in, and your agenda item wasn't, at least mine wasn't filled in. So, and you did it. So.
Well, I believe the budget office has been in and out, and we didn't get signed by the budget office.
No, I didn't, not my agenda item. All right. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Gatsa, second by Commissioner Tamayo. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Item 19, consideration approval of committee to coordinate the moving transition into the Levi's building.
Judge, we'd like to establish a small committee to help in the transition of moving into this building. I believe we're going to have a large number of employees moving in. There's still some issues that we need to work out. And so if we can maybe get a four-person committee to go ahead and work with the different departments, elected officials that are going to be part of this transition. I would recommend somebody from my staff, probably David Garcia. Mari Galvan from Commissioner Garza has probably attended every single construction meeting that we've had since the project began. Marcelino, obviously from building maintenance, and then maybe somebody from the computer center, maybe Jim Roberts or their designee. And give them the task to come up with a transition plan, work with the different elected officials and department heads, so that we can develop a schedule of move-in, and then start the transition.
Yeah, that's fine. Anybody else would like to sit on that committee? No? Okay, do I hear a motion to approve the aforementioned people to serve on the committee to coordinate the transition move to the Levi's building?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Wood, second by Commissioner Gatsa. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Item 20, consideration possible action on the utilization of lapsed salaries in all of the county's departments. Commissioner Gatsa.
I asked Pete to put this back on the agenda. We've had a number of discussions. The different departments have had an opportunity to express any concerns, some of which were expressed to us and taken into consideration into how we would handle the lapsed salaries. I think that we have done enough talking and listening. We haven't had anyone in the last couple of weeks that I know of bring any other concerns to our attention in regards to what we proposed. So I just wanted to make sure that, we give ourselves another opportunity to look at them. And if this is what we're willing to do, we need to move on it before the fiscal year is over.
Yeah, I haven't heard any comments on the policy that.
There was a point here, and I know I read this because I read everything on the agenda, but is there a place where after 6 months, if the position, here it is.
It's item 12.
Yeah.
Paragraph 12.
If it's not filled within 6 months.
I want to change that to 4 months.
Well, my only concern is, and I understand the point there, but if it's a very important position, I wouldn't want to rush, because some positions, it's hard to find someone with the qualifications that you need. That's my only concern, and maybe it's not something we should worry about, but I think that a lot of times we want to make sure that we really try recruiting the best possible person, and there's certain positions that require certain qualifications. That's my only concern.
Skill sets.
Yeah, or skills.
And that's a good point. I don't know how you want to word it. Again, I know what you're talking about.
Maybe we could say
high-level positions.
It would be the high-level positions.
And
for instance, I'm thinking of the health department.
Right.
And you know how difficult it is sometimes to fill some of those vacancies for nurses and so on. And so maybe we can say unless, of course, we don't want to start making a lot of exceptions. A lot of the positions I understand. There's a multitude of people.
But they could always be brought to this.
Yeah, why don't we do that?
Okay.
I mean, let me,
Well, I just wanted to bring that up because that's a concern.
Why don't we leave it at 6 months, and then if it does happen that we do have to eliminate it, they can always come back. That's right. They always can come back.
Okay.
Or add a caveat of any position that is to be eliminated because of this policy
brings it to
be
court.
brought to the court.
For formal approval.
Yeah, there you go. That would take care of it.
In paragraph 8, where it speaks of priorities on the use, and then after the emergency travel got 4 X's, what else? I think in there you want to put any other one-time expenditure. I think that is the purpose. I think that's where we're trying to go with this, that we can use labs for a one-time expenditure, something that is not going to affect the next year's budget. So any one-time expenditure.
Yeah, don't leave 4 X's on there.
Right. Just add, or any other one-time expenditure. Any comments, Commissioner? No? Okay, with that change, do I hear a motion to approve the Cameron County policy on lap salaries?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Tamayo, second by Commissioner Gatsa. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. I haven't heard anything from any member of the court regarding the, I think it was a building use policy, but, so with that, next week or two, I want to, get it fixed up and then bring it back to y'all for adoption. I think y'all looked at it about a month ago. I think we put it on 3 weeks ago. Okay? If you have any changes, let me know in the next week or so. Item 21, consideration possible approval of the La Paloma, Rio Hondo, Cameron Park schematic design and budget. Javier?
The important thing is that you're within budget now.
Yes, ma'am. Judge, Commissioners, we met with David and we went over the budgets, and we also met with Commissioner to make sure that the stuff that we were taking out was fine. And what we did do is and I can let David elaborate a little bit more on that, but what we did do is we've got some hard numbers from some of the subcontractors, and some of the stuff we're going to be purchasing through the buy board, excuse me, such as the lighting. And on the parking lot, we're hoping the Public Works will help us with the labor. We have the material in there, and then also the material for the jogging trail. And then the play structures, of course, also we want to buy through the buy board also, where we can get a bigger discount. There won't be any overhead tagged onto it. So, David, you want to add anything?
No, I guess what we can do, just go over the, do you want to go ahead and show them the parks? Or?
Did y'all want to see the...
Do y'all want to see it?
schematic?
The master plan is there.
No, I think...
Our main concern was,
okay.
our main concern was to stay within budget.
Yeah, we're in budget with all 3 parks.
Now, looking at these numbers, and you are under budget right now, you all are really going to have to oversee these projects, because you don't have a whole lot of wiggle room here.
Right.
Okay?
Right. I think within 4 weeks, we'll receive bids, and then from there, we can evaluate the low bids, and if we have to do any value engineering, we could do it at that time.
Okay.
I've been talking with Javier and some other stakeholders in Cameron Park area, and there seems to be a desire to reorient the soccer field and change the dimensions of it, which would then provide us more available space for future use in that area. And I'd like to look at that. It should actually cut down on the cost of doing the work out there.
Yep, the drawing indicates that a smaller field.
Well, this drawing doesn't indicate the way I want it reoriented.
Okay.
It indicates a smaller field.
No, we can certainly move that around.
If we reorient it, we will have a better playing field because the sun won't be in people's eyes.
Okay. We can sit down with you, Commissioner, and go over this. Absolutely.
This is the smaller field then that you've got in this drawing?
Commissioner, one of the reasons that we reduced the size, we left it the way it was, but just to cut back on some of the costs.
You still got the path, and
Right.
you've got everything that's already in place.
Right, the irrigation, the lights, the trail and everything
Well,
else.
it may work fine. I'd like to look at it, though.
These are not regulation soccer fields?
It was.
It's oversized right now. It's more of a football field at Cameron Park. But what we want to do is try to, because what happens is a lot of the communities don't have time to use it because of the leaves that come in from other areas. And what we're trying to do is reduce it so that the actual community can use this facility rather than other leagues coming in and...
So that the kids in the community use it rather than leagues from all over the city using it and keeping it. I mean, it never grows grass because they use it every day of the week, I guess.
Well, evidently, it's used a lot in all areas of Brownsville because we had 2 teams in the playoffs this last weekend. So there's kids playing
These
soccer.
are adults.
These are adults
These
playing?
are not
Or the
kids.
leagues you're talking about?
These are
Yeah,
adult
he's talking
leagues.
about the league. Well, do you want to hold that until, do you want to hold that back? If you're not, I'm comfortable with, because I met several
In
times
this size, if it's reduced to what we were talking about, it's sufficient to be used for children, for kids leagues. What we have out there now is adult leagues using it, and we have some more that are coming online. The city of Brownsville is building several. They can use those.
Okay, so then you're okay with the size?
I wanted it reduced, and as long as this is reduced to the size, that's what we need.
Okay.
Well, are you talking about reducing it from what we see here?
No.
No.
they're
This
telling
is the
me
reduced
this is already
size.
reduced.
That's already
Okay.
reduced.
All right, so you're okay with it then?
It's pretty
Yeah,
small.
this is down to 200.
All right. Okay.
So you're okay with it?
If it's reduced, yeah.
Okay.
Move to
Motion for
approve.
approval.
Okay. Moved by Commissioner Gatsa, second by Commissioner Tamayo. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carried. Item 22, consideration possible action regarding the county's legislative agenda for the 80th Texas Legislative Session.
Judge, Commissioners, have a few bills that we wanted to bring up today. We had House Bill 7 by Representative Hildebrand. That was the legislation that would have put the lighthouse under the Texas Historical Commission and taken away from the Parks Department. That was reported favorably out of the committee with the amendment to take the PI lighthouse from that bill. So we were able to take that out from the original legislation, and it's
So that
been
means
reported out.
that it would stay with the Department of
Correct.
Wildlife.
Stays as
Parks,
is.
Wildlife.
Parks and Wildlife, okay, good.
Correct. One of the bills that we've been working on, and we'll be going to Austin tonight for the hearing, for a transportation hearing tomorrow, is Senate Bill 1888 introduced by Senator Hinojosa. There's also a House companion bill introduced by Chino Flores. And this is a legislation we discussed last week regarding the vehicle inspection fees that will be directed to the Metropolitan Planning Organizations, or RMAs. Senator's bill is going to be before the committee tomorrow, and we're going to go discuss it with his staff and Senator Lucio's staff. I believe we passed out a resolution for you all to consider. Since then, we've had some discussions with Senator Hinojosa's staff and also Senator Lucio's staff, and there's in particular the population threshold that we need to address. And so we want to see if we can probably bring this back to you all next week and go discuss this with Senator Hinojosa's staff and Senator Lucio's staff and see if we can work it out, and then bring back the resolution that will address the concerns and the changes that we want.
Some of the concerns that I think we're looking at, and you've got them drafted in this particular resolution, is having to do with this being a local option bill, which would allow the public to vote on whether or not they wanted to assess up to the $10 fee for additional to registration of vehicles to provide funding for projects and road projects that would be within MPOs having to do with development of roadways in the cities and in the county also, that the MPOs have authority over through the bonded indebtedness. And the monies that would be raised would be used solely to service the bonded indebtedness in order to get these things built. And in conjunction with the RMAs of the county, being able to get projects done and completed on a timely manner, as opposed to waiting for someday when TxDOT may have money or may not have money. I know in Cameron County, we've had several projects pulled off of the 5 to 10 year time frame because TxDOT's not expecting to have funds to do that. But this would allow local voters the opportunity to make a determination whether or not they want to pass this assessment on to themselves.
And I believe the legislation, there is a substitute bill that was drafted by the senator. We don't have a copy of that, but we're being told that the local option fee is not part of the bill. But the issue of up to $10 is in this substitute bill, as well as the money going to an RMA. And so one of the things we want to do is we want to go and talk to Senator Hinojosa's staff to see if there's a way we can work that out, with regards to the local option fee.
Well, right now, the way they have it for Hidalgo County, it's not a local option bill.
That's correct.
Is that correct? And when we were talking earlier to
Senator Hinojosa's staff, I think they want to carry it for the county. I suggest, you know what, try to do it along the border if you want to do that. But having the commissioners' court make that decision on a supermajority vote. In other words, you need 4 affirmative votes to implement the up to $10 fee. You can always have it ratified by the voter, but again, we go to the issue, what happens if it doesn't pass? We're back to the thing. So the bill, the way I understand the way Senator Hinojosa has it, it's not, I mean, they're going to do it. Hidalgo County's going to do it. We're trying to piggyback on it so that we can take advantage of that benefit up to the $10 fee with a supermajority of the commissioners' court. But if y'all want to do it, present it to where it must be a resolution put out, that's fine. I think the argument is that, well, let the voters decide. Well, you know, we didn't give the voters opportunity to vote on district courts funding or any other fundings that come down. And so we need to look at that real carefully. A supermajority of 4 is real hard to get. I think everybody has to be on board pretty much, you know, for that to pass. So
We had a conversation with Paul Cowan earlier, and I didn't get a chance to talk to Senator Hinojosa's office until 30 minutes before the meeting, and that was one of the issues they brought up, was the local option fee. That is not in the bill. And so they're open to the idea. They just want to sit down and talk and perhaps have Senator Lucio's office there as well. So.
Well, what do we want to do?
Yeah, that's...
What I thought if the Senator Lucio wants to sign off on it, make it to where we can implement that up to $10 and make it with the supermajority vote of the Commissioners' Court. We need 4 affirmative votes, not 3, but 4 affirmative votes in order to implement this.
That provision is not in the bill as well, so I don't know if that's something that the senator is going to add to his bill as well. And again, that's something that he's willing to look at. And so this is the reason we're going to Austin
You need to
tomorrow.
visit with them some more and see what they're willing to...
That would be our recommendation, would be to talk to them and to see
I think
what...
they're looking for guidance from us too. I mean, if you want to do it where it's an option, that's fine, then we can implement this at the next general election, I guess, November of '08.
And in speaking to Rene Ramirez, Chief of Staff for Senator Hinojosa, he said, this is the first hearing on the bill, and there's time to work on it, on the floor or on the House side.
Well, if it's going to, I think we need to give direction to you, whether we want to move in the direction of a local option or a supermajority or whatever it is you call it.
Or maybe present that to the Senator and say, look, these are the 2 options.
Or either or.
See the feedback that
And
you
then
get from
see
it.
what they want to do. Give them the options.
And let us know.
Yeah, I imagine there's going to be quite a bit of discussion on the bill because there's smaller counties that also want to get incorporated into the bill, like Maverick County, Valverde County, which are small counties. So I guess it's going to be interesting in the morning, see what type of discussion there is, and then...
I know I had a discussion with the Senator Friday, and we were talking about the local option, which is what we had visited about, a local option ability of doing it. I don't know if...
And I believe that's one of the issues.
I talked to him about it.
I did talk to him about it,
That time he was...
affording us the opportunity to have local options.
Yeah,
And of course, he wanted to make sure that on these type of projects, that all of the cities would be impacted. And I says, going through the RMA and utilizing that instrument, they impact everyone. The projects that we have impact everyone in the whole county.
Well, they do in Cameron County. I'm not sure other counties operate that way.
Right.
That's a good
And
point.
that's the whole issue there. That's why in the other counties, they're using the MPO process.
Exactly.
They're using
Right.
other...
Okay.
Well, give us feedback.
Take both of them to them and see how they react to it.
I think they're also in the morning voting on House Bill 92, which is the transportation bill, right?
Actually, that was going to be my next...
Oh, that's going to be your next, okay, well, I just led you into it.
Just a little while ago, we had a phone call from Representative Lucio's office on the moratorium on CDAs. Is that what you're referring to?
Which is 1890, well, it's the amendment to that.
Basically, he said that the moratorium on comprehensive development agreements had passed in the House. I think it was a 140 to 5 vote, and that he and Representative Escobar were the two members from the valley that voted against the moratorium. So I don't know what that does for us. At least for now, it's still, moving along. We're continuing to work, Austin and the governor's office, the reps and the Senate, there's still
Well,
needs to be.
unfortunately, the governor on this one doesn't vote.
Yeah.
That's the whole issue there.
But he can influence.
Yeah. And it's the Senate where the major problem is from my understanding from the conversations today, that, we're not going to get the support at the Senate level on this moratorium, which means that our projects will be deferred.
Fortunately, our projects
Set
are
back
caught in the
for
middle.
minimally 2 years
Or more.
or more than
Let me
that.
ask you, how does the prior bill that we spoke about just 30 seconds ago relate to this moratorium now? Because are those, if there is going to be a moratorium, then we have no funding mechanism, correct?
No private funding mechanism.
Yeah, no private, but if we don't get the private, it's going to be very, very difficult.
Well, the way RMAs operate now, we have no financing, bonding. We don't have startup monies. It's hard to get the amount of money we need to go to go sell bonds. So this bill would help us leverage,
But not for major transportation
Right.
projects like the ones we're working on. Not unless we could go to TxDOT and use this to leverage, if TxDOT would come in with 90% funding, but that's not very likely.
The legislation, 1888, would help projects like, for example, the East Loop, West Loop. It would hurt projects like the Second Causeway, the CDA moratorium.
Even though, on the Second Causeway, for example, we do have a commitment for EA money already on hand.
Yeah, it won't impact that, that's correct.
it's going to, at least, that process will continue.
Through that phase, yes.
Right, through that phase. It's just the construction phase that there's no money there. Or I-69.
Correct.
I-69.
Which is another one that we've been working
The bigger
on.
one.
And it seems that there's a dispute between the governor's office, TxDOT, and legislators as to what approach needs to be taken to solve problems. And we're caught we were using their approach that they had been telling us.
And we just got caught in the middle because I believe that bill that was passed, there were some counties that were excluded. And, what else?
That's it.
Well, one thing, all of the staff, Escobar and Lucio, have been really good about keeping us updated. I got 3 calls within 2 hours this afternoon.
We also had
We should thank them for that.
We also had some communication on the subdivision plat bill in Olmito this afternoon with Representative Lucio's office. I think it was being heard on the floor, there was some issues regarding the English and Spanish notification. So I think that bill's moving along.
We have no word yet on the Health and Safety Code request to reduce the number of counties in the Health Services District. Nothing to report on that one?
Sorry, David, would you go back over what is the issue between the publications on English and Spanish on Bill 1100?
Yes, sir. When we're going to get ready to convert back to the...
I understand what the bill is about, what is in the bill, what's the questions they have about it?
Well, they wanted to know why it needed to be done, the notice be done in English and Spanish. Why couldn't it just be done in English only?
Well, the other ones that put English and Spanish in it.
A lot of times when we're making these announcements, TxDOT wants us or recommends to us to put them in English and Spanish so that the general public, has an opportunity to read it, right? And so, we don't have a problem with an English only, but it'd be better if it was in both English and Spanish for the general public.
I think the committee members were saying that if the notification's done only or strictly in English, then that bill is ready to move on past. So that's the word we got to the rep.
Fine, do it.
Just do it.
Get it done.
We'll do the bilingual translation.
Yeah.
That's all I had.
Motion to acknowledge report.
Moved by Commissioner Tamayo to acknowledge the report by Mr. Garcia and Mr. Sepulveda regarding the state legislative agenda. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Benavides. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Item 23, discussion and possible action regarding the county's federal legislative agenda.
I think Pete's been working on trying to put together a priority list for Senator Hutchison on transportation projects that they'll be asking for coming up pretty quick here. They're coming back from an Easter break, and they're probably going to be moving pretty quick in committees. So we're going to need to bring a list of priorities for our transportation projects and hopefully adopt or make a recommendation from the court to the senator's office. Right now, the two projects we're looking at are the FM 509 project in the Harlingen area, San Benito area, and the East Loop project in the Brownsville area. So,
I think we need to keep it to probably two projects, right?
Two, yeah.
So,
Have a better.
I think,
Unless y'all have any other projects that you want to substitute, but I think the East Loop and the
well, I know
509 are
that,
critical.
and just to go back and let you all know, when we were in Washington, the senator's office informed us that rail relocation projects were not going to be included in the transportation appropriations bill. And so she was not going to recommend any rail relocation projects. And so she asked us to bring forth a couple of other construction highway projects.
Both of these projects are, the East Loop is pretty close to getting an environmental clearance. And so if we get it funded, we can utilize that money for the right-of-way acquisition. The FM 509 project, we're probably 9 months, maybe 12 months, the latest, from getting it environmentally cleared. And so if we can get it funded with next year's budget, we can also utilize that money for right-of-way acquisition. So both projects, are projects that are pretty well advanced from the technical studies, and so they're two good, strong projects that we can probably continue to get funding in continuous years.
do we need to give them direction in an affirmative manner on those two projects?
I think you have direction in those two projects. Do you need to bring it back next week for ratification?
No, what we'll do, we'll prepare the packet and get them signed, get letters of support.
Bring it, and then we'll just
Bring
sign
them
off.
next week?
Well, the letters of support need to go out before then, so.
Sure.
Okay? All right. Do I hear, is there more, David?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go, sorry.
Yesterday, we were in Denton, Texas, for a meeting with FEMA. Hidalgo County, representative from Hidalgo County joined us in the meeting, Mr. Godfrey Garza, as well as IBWC and consultant Bill's Logistics. Basically, we went over the map modernization plan that the FEMA is working on. They're currently working on map modernization plans for every county in the state of Texas. And from what we gathered, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done for the Cameron County area. There's some LiDAR data that needs to be collected, and there's also a coastal analysis that looks at the storm surges coming in along the Gulf Coast that needs to be modeled. And so we asked FEMA for for a timetable on when our preliminary maps might be ready, and best guess scenario for them was probably 24 months away.
24?
24 months, yes. And just going back, these maps are important because these maps, represent what type of flood insurance, and the the premiums that that will need to be paid out, depending on what type of map is presented in different parts of the county. We're probably going to be looking at bringing on a consultant to review the maps that FEMA is currently working on. Hidalgo County is using this process. It's called the CTP process, and I don't know what CTP stands for, but what they do is they bring on a consultant to review FEMA's work, and so that way they're working hand in hand and reviewing the maps that are being presented along the process and not waiting to the end and, possibly having some issues come up and raised that will have an effect on the county. So as we get further along and we make a recommendation that we need a consultant to review the maps, we may bring that forward to you all.
Mr. Garcia, at what point do the drainage districts of Cameron County get involved with us, since they're major impacted by?
It's a good question. As many of you know, in Hidalgo County, the drainage district is consolidated, so there's only one entity. And here we have a few. So we still need to look at that, but I think within the next month or two, we need to set up a meeting to talk to them of the importance of this issue and how we can collaborate in funding, looking at funding and looking at ways where they can help.
Because each one of them would benefit from this process in their planning process. So we probably need to see if they could become partners with us in this consultant firm or individual that we would get, so that we could all share in the cost that we have.
Yeah, and we'll start looking at that. We'll start working on putting a plan together to get them involved, because they are an important part of this whole process. That's all I had for this.
Any other comments? Any other comments? Do I hear a motion to acknowledge Mr. Garcia's report? Moved by Commissioner Gatsa, second by Commissioner Tamayo. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Do I hear a motion to go into executive session? Moved by Commissioner Tamayo, second by Commissioner Wood. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Item A, confer with Commissioners Court Legal Counsel concerning management and purchase issued with the International Bridge System on a matter in which the duty of the attorney to the governmental body under the Texas Disciplinary Rules of Professional Conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflicts with this chapter pursuant to Code Section 551.0712. Item B, deliberation regarding real property concerning acquisition of parcel 1 for right-of-way for the West Rail project pursuant to Code Section 551.072. Item C, confer with Commissioners Court Legal Counsel concerning Laguna Madre Enhancement Group LP in Cameron County, Texas, cause number 2007-03-0695-G, for authority to represent Cameron County pursuant to Code Section 551.0711A. Lastly, item D, confer with Commissioners Court Legal Counsel concerning claim of Agustin Zambrano Jr. for discussion and authority to represent the county pursuant to Code Section 551.071A and 2. Second by Commissioner Wood. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We're out of executive session. On item A, confer with Commissioners Court Legal Counsel concerning management and purchasing with the International Bridge System. Do I hear a motion to acknowledge that no report was given? Moved by Commissioner Wood. Second by Commissioner Gatsa. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Do I hear the same motion? Nothing was discussed regarding real property parcel 1 for the right-of-way of the West Rail. Do I hear a motion to acknowledge no report? Moved by Commissioner Wood, second by Commissioner Gatsa. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Item C, confer with Commissioners Court Legal Counsel concerning the Laguna Madre Enhancement Group LP and Cameron County. Do I hear a motion to acknowledge report of counsel and authority to represent Cameron County?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Wood, second by Commissioner Gatsa. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Item D, confer with Commissioners Court Legal Counsel concerning claim of Agustin Zambrano Jr. Do I hear a motion to acknowledge report of counsel and authority to represent the county? Moved by Commissioner Wood, second by Commissioner Gatsa. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries.
Move to adjourn.
Motion by Commissioner Wood to adjourn, second by Commissioner Gatsa. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries.
God save this court.